Hello and welcome to firststepsinforex.com. Now today is the Sunday, February the 6th, and we're coming to the start of a new week. Obviously tomorrow's Monday. I apologise, last week I was only able to update once due to illness, but the good news is I'm feeling better now, so let's start for a new week beginning on the 7th tomorrow, I believe. Yes, the 7th tomorrow. So here we have the pound-dollar daily chart. Now, from the last time I posted, I've taken everything off the chart. It's always a good idea at the end of a week, I think, to just clean everything off and start again for the new week, because you can miss things and cloud your judgment. So let's have a look at the weekly chart first. Okay, now over the last few weeks, if we zoom out, we have seen an up and down type scenario, although we do have a kind of gentle type trend down in the long term since June last year. In the long term, that is, but of course in between that it's gone down here, it's bounced back up, we bounced off here, we bounced off here, we're bouncing just in the region of this trend line here, and that kind of suggests that this trend line might be important, because the more times it bounces, and if you look, you can go all the way back. Let's have a look. You can say it's bounced off there as well. Okay, so it could be important. Okay, well, it is important because we've done 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces off it. Okay, so what are we at the moment? Well, we're in a sort of consolidation. We went up from the sort of March time upwards, April time upwards. We peaked at around mid-September, went back down again, came back up, and now we're sort of first week of February, and we seem to have hit this peak again. So let's go to the daily chart. We have this trend line we had before from the weekly chart, and you can see that if I put that line there, we're also very close to this resistance area, because we bounced off it twice here, and it's close to a round number, the 1.6300 number. So that's an area to watch, and it looks like we might have reacted to both of those things, this trend line and also this 1.6300 support and resistance area, and also a round number. Clearly we had what they call a shooting star or pin bar, and we went violently down on Friday. But it did bounce up again, so it's almost like a spinning top type doji. Okay, but not quite sure what will happen next. So I'm going to probably reserve judgment and wait to see what happens by the end of the trading day on Monday tomorrow before maybe jumping in. But my instincts would tell me where we're going down, but who can tell at the moment. It's interesting here where we closed on Friday, we have a support and resistance area. Look, it bounced off it there as support, bounced off it there as resistance, bounced off it there as resistance. So that's an area where we can join. You can just draw in a blue line there to say, that's something that's happened again in the past. That's happened in the past. We've got an area here as well. Let's just bring this line in. I mean, here's around a 1.600. Okay, and it's bounced off that there, and it's bounced off it a few times here. Maybe these multiple tops here, around a 1.600. Of course, there's a big round number. So let's try and do that as well, somewhere around there. Okay. As you can see, bounced there, bounced here, bounced there, there. So it's obviously psychologically an important pivot area of support and resistance. And we can keep going further down. Let's have a look here. There's anything interesting around there? Yeah, it's hit it a few times, and that's very close to the 15900 area. So there's definitely an area there where things were bouncing off. So we can draw that one in as well. Okay, bounced off here. Lots of times, and the more times it does it, the more powerful it can be. What else do we have? There seems to be an area here of support and resistance. around the 15330 area, so we'll draw that one in down there. Not that we're going to hit it for a while, but it's important to know that it's there. Okay. What else have we got? We've got this area around here. Let's bounce up and down a few times, sort of close on there, so let's draw that in. We sit down here, didn't we? 1655 area, 16700 area. So sorry, 1655 to 15700 area around there. And there are other areas as well, but these are the ones I've picked out at the moment. Now let's have a look at Fibonacci. We had a big high, we went down to a big low, and we bounced back up almost at 100%. And that's when you get double tops in the chart. If we go back to the weekly, look at that, I mean it's a double top. And it's an area where we've bounced off before, so yeah, as I said, it's likely that this reaction we had down here is going to go down. But if we look at the weekly chart, we can see the momentum is still very much up. Okay, and same on the daily chart as well. Sorry, on the daily chart we've turned and come back down again, but on the weekly, you know, the chart's still saying this was a very positive week. Came down a little bit towards the end, but it's still very positive. Okay, and in fact, you can draw a trend line there. So we've got an upward going trend, which is here. There's a trend going up, bounce off here. So you know, maybe we've got a support and resistance. If we break through this tomorrow, I shall go short. And maybe the target area is going to be around this 61.8% or around this support and resistance. So if we do go short, we're going to have a stop above the high of the previous day, and we'll go short, and we'll probably, if we have the opportunity, we'll follow it and try and get it to break even as quickly as possible, because we could come down and just bounce off this and come straight back up again. Okay, or down to this line here, maybe the 61.8 around this area. It's difficult to tell. My instincts say will go down initially, but like I've always said in Forex, predict what you think is going to happen and use conjunctions because they give you a more likely chance, but just wait a little bit to see what does actually happen before making your choice. Or if you do want to do it before it starts, and make sure you have a tight stop loss initially. Okay, but it's really up to you. There's a particular strategy for that. There was a classic, just pick out some interesting, there was a classic triangle formation here. We had this trend line going up, we had this trend line going up there, and it broke through, and we had a big upward surge. So that was a very good trade, which we did last week. And it got through this support and resistance and carried on up. Okay. Right, what else can we do? Well, we looked at the chart things there. So we had a shooting star formation, okay, and that's an inside bar. We went below it, so that's why that was very negative. So my instinct is it will go down, but just protect yourself with stops and make sure you understand that. Let's just wait and see when the UK and Europe opens tomorrow where it's going to go. And that's about it really for today. So I'm not in any position. I managed to close off. Last week I was long most of the way up here, but I got stopped out. I went short on Friday because of the spinning top the day before. I dropped back down a bit. I got short. I only made about 20 pips on Friday. So then I got out. I got stopped out. So I'm just waiting to see what happens tomorrow. And that's about it, I think. I can't think of anything else I can tell you about at the moment. We just really need to wait to see what happens. Okay, so just to summarise, we have a double top formation also on this trend line here. The likelihood is that we're going to come down, at least initially, but we could bounce off this upward trend line and carry on going up later on in the week. This could be a whole thing on a weekly continuation. So we have from this low to this high, we retreated down to here, and then we go back up again with the same distance between here and here. Could be projected from here up to here. So for example, this 1.618 could be the final projection, the target. But we'll just have to wait and see. Okay. And that's it really. Thank you very much for watching. If you're interested in the tools and techniques that I use to look at these charts, then please go to my website www.firststepsinforex.com, and there you can download my free ebook and 6 free videos to get you started on learning how to trade Forex. Okay, so thanks very much. I wish you all the best, safe trading and profitable trading, and we'll speak soon. Bye bye.